wanted by the Sheriff's Department. Right now, driving on the wrong side of the road on oncoming traffic, got his hand out the road again, out of the window again, making gestures at these cars. Again, you probably wouldn't be looking for that if you were making a left turn and a vehicle was driving on the wrong side of the road. Again, wrong side of the road right there. The other officer was definitely throwing out a pair of spike strips. That's what we just saw right there, northbound Western. That apparently would be the first time. Unclear if he hit those spike strips. You did see him swerve. You saw that officer throw those spike strips out in front of him. Great maneuver on the Sheriff's Department's part and a good effort. Unclear if they've worked. We're going to keep an eye on this vehicle. Again, you can see this guy now starting to speed up, which is very dangerous. Now he's going to have less brakes and possibly some flat tires. This is going to be some problems right here. Apparently we're coming up on Vernon, as I understand. Whoa! Look at that, the skateboarder right there. That guy almost got it. Again, you know, this is the reasons why these are so dangerous. These are the reasons why, especially on a Friday afternoon on these smaller streets out here, is extremely dangerous. And he's picking up speed. I'm looking that there's a bus up ahead making a turn. Again, look at this. He's taking center lanes. Now he's starting to get a little bit desperate. He's driving a little bit crazier. It's definitely very tense moments for the officers and anybody watching this, and of course the public at large in the area. It's going to be a very dangerous scene as this guy is driving faster than the traffic allows, and vehicle definitely not in the best of shape. Well, you know, it's funny you bring that up right now as we're coming up to another major intersection out here with a lot of cross traffic this afternoon. Again, Friday afternoon, very busy in the downtown area, South Los Angeles. Cut that vehicle off, apparently going very slow. But what the point is right now is that my pilot was just talking with the pilot from the Sheriff's Department down there. Actually, they're probably talking to the Observer, and what we're hearing now is from that other helicopter is domestic violence. There's a domestic violence call. It was the original call for this. Looks like we're coming to a stop out here. The door is open. This guy is getting out of the vehicle. What? Oh, he's got a gun. He has got a gun. He is, and this could end kind of badly out here. He's gesturing very, yeah. This is not going to end very well. Shots fired. Yeah, and he's still moving, still going out here. Sheriff's Department, he's still moving. You can definitely see a definite bullet wound to this gentleman, this suspect's back out here. It looks like he's collapsing, but he has not dropped the weapon. Has not dropped that weapon, and that is the problem out here. He's still got the weapon in his hand, and as long as that's going on, those officers will not approach him. And, you know, again, you can see the officers from the Sheriff's Department out here right now doing their tactical moves as this guy still has that weapon in his hand. You can see these officers got their guns out. They're giving him commands. Hopefully he'll be listening. Again, though, you can see the Sheriff's Department in force out here trying to get this guy to subdue. Very, very violent end to this pursuit. Apparently started as domestic violence. He landed on his back. I'm getting very clear orders not to show the suspect at all right now, so that's the reason why I'm not making that move. Last we saw him, he was laying on his back, but that weapon was still very clearly in his hand. And officers from the Sheriff's Department, as long as that suspect is armed, and you saw shots fired from that suspect at officers. So again, this is an extremely dangerous suspect. This vehicle that we're looking at right here, that okay, I thought maybe that might be a bullet wound. Yes. That shield is bulletproof. It or is bullet resistant. I'm not sure if there's anything that's bulletproof in this world. Again, though, this could be something they could use to approach that suspect. Again, I don't know if he dropped the weapon or threw it or what he has done with the weapon, but I can tell you, officers right here, deputies from the sheriff's department, still have their weapons out. They're trying to formulate a plan to take this suspect into custody. Again, though, that suspect extremely defiant. And again, this is a very, very bizarre ending, very violent ending out here in the South Los Angeles area.
And gestured wildly. I couldn't tell from our vantage point, from Air 7, some 800 feet in the air, with the camera starting to widen out, whether he actually had a weapon in his hands. But the earlier reports were that the suspect was, in fact, armed, this kidnapping suspect, as he was described to us. Yep. So then that means that they would have been certainly justified, and if they saw a weapon in his hands, they would be justified in firing at him. He is on the porch of this house.
You see a dog there?
And there's a dog there that looks like it's tied up. He's laying down on his back.
Watch that pole.
And he is, I can't tell if he's got something in his hands or not.
Yeah, we can't tell either. That looks like a dog from the house, from the neighborhood. He is still moving. He is down.
He's shot.
He is injured, and we do see that there is some blood on his shirt indicating he has been shot. And we're hearing now that he does have a gun in his hand.
Okay.
So that's why LA County Sheriff's deputies right now are keeping a little bit of a wide berth. Make the shot for you just a little bit wider. He apparently has been hit. He is bleeding, but he is still on the ground, and he is moving. And because Sheriff's deputies believe he does have a gun in his hand right now, it wouldn't be in anyone's wide berth for the LA County Sheriff's helicopter in the area. We can't tell if he actually is holding that gun in his hand right now. That's the information we did hear earlier from sheriffs on the ground. Here's some new information we just got. SWAT deputies from the LA County Sheriff's Department, they've been dispatched. Not sure what their ETA is, but they are on the way right now to assist in this situation. That suspect, as you can see, is down on the ground. Appears to have been shot by LA County Sheriff's deputies. We had a tighter shot a short while ago. He's up and he's moving now. That's incredible for someone to be shot, to have a bullet inside their flesh to pierce what appears to be his stomach or maybe his chest and still be able to sit up, communicate, and talk with sheriff's deputies. That is really astonishing. So they might want to also start thinking about, gee, maybe the guy is under the influence of some kind of drugs, alcohol, some kind of medication. It's incredible that someone who's got a bullet in them could actually sit up and still talk. Appears to be very agitated. And as you mentioned, Mark, when the chase came to an end, the suspect out of his car, making threatening gestures toward sheriff's deputies, being very agitated toward deputies not cooperating or complying with their commands, made a run for it. And for some reason, sheriff's deputies, fearing for their own life or the lives of their partners or other folks in the neighborhood, they did shoot at and hit, apparently, that suspect who's down on the ground, breached this property. And these guys are brutally well fortified. They are extremely well trained, and they go through training year-round to prepare for situations, circumstances just like this. So he might have moved in just to get a closer look. He's got the weapon apparently pointed toward the suspect on the porch. Open up that shot for you just a bit. He's opening up the gates and then backing off just a little bit, all the while most likely still communicating with that suspect. They know exactly what they want him to do, and if they have to, they'll use a variety of different languages. If he doesn't speak English, they could use a variety of other means to communicate with that suspect. They want him to get rid of that gun and surrender peacefully. They approached the suspect, they approached that front gate, they opened it, or apparently tried to open it, and now they're backing off on 43rd on at Vermont Avenue.
Okay, so they couldn't open the gate. That's part of the problem here. So that's a tactical problem that has presented itself.
Copy, thank you. Dude, tase him, man, tase him. man, look at this guy. This is crazy.
They've got their guns trained on that guy. He is coming out. He's got his hands up. He is most likely seriously injured. He's trying to understand what they're trying to tell him. Do you want me to get down on the ground? He's gesturing toward them, and yes, they want his hands up in the air. They want him to get face down on the ground right now. As he approaches, gets closer and closer. This is being a situation less and less threatening for LA County Sheriff's deputies because he's got his hands up. It is an oversized T-shirt, so he could reach theoretically for another weapon if we need to. We're going to reposition. But looks like he's walking right to deputies. He's within just a few feet. They've got their guns drawn and trained on him. He is injured, therefore somewhat incapacitated. We're going to reposition the helicopter to come around to the south side, complying with their very commands right now. They're being very specific. Get down on the ground. We know you're injured. Look at all that blood. He's lost a great deal of blood. We're going to double up now to give you that shot. He is down on the ground, very seriously injured. We got the K-9 unit here. There he is at the bottom of your screen. They're putting the handcuffs on that suspect, and they are treating this gentleman very, very gingerly. They're being very gentle with him. He is in custody, very seriously injured, pulling the K-9 out, pulling that police dog back out. And in time, firefighters, they're very nearby. These are sheriff's deputies, SWAT deputies. They're also very well trained in first aid. They have paramedics with the LA County Sheriff's Department, so if they have to come in and treat the suspect before the firefighters are brought in, that's fine as well. We haven't seen them clear that car just yet, so at any point they're going to approach the SUV. That was a kidnapping suspect. They're going to make sure there's no one else inside that car. This appears to be the only suspect. There was a situation that was a pursuit a short while ago. It ended here on 43rd off of Vermont. Deputies in fear of their own life when they saw that suspect with a weapon, fired on that suspect. He was injured, ran for it into the neighborhood, stopped on somebody's porch, collapsed with a handgun, and just moments ago, fortunately, walked away from that handgun, and now being treated by LA County Sheriff's SWAT deputies. These are paramedics, so they're taking care of him right now while LA City firefighters are being held out. This may be a belly wound. This may be a wound to the back as well. That's where the bulk of the blood is right now on his back. And even though they are treating him, he is in police custody. He is in handcuffs, but they'll do all they can to assess his situation. And then in a short while, he'll be transported to a hospital. But first, we're going to bring that shot out just a bit for you because they are starting to pull his trousers down just a bit, and it might get a little graphic for you. But fortunately, this situation, a kidnapping suspect, a wild pursuit, shots fired, a suspect injured. No deputies were hurt to the best of our knowledge, but fortunately the suspect in custody, and in moments they'll approach that SUV in the middle of your screen, clear that SUV to make sure there's no one else inside. Live from Air 7 HD, I'm Bill Thomas, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So again, this pursuit and standoff has come to an end. Deputies cutting off his shirt and cuffing him. They now have him in custody. So this was a very dangerous situation that now has appeared to come to an end.
And coming up in just about 9 minutes, KODC LA 56 Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. with Rudabeh Shavazi tonight and Mark Brown. Stay tuned. They'll have complete wrap-up of this situation and all the day's news.
And we welcome you back to the KTLA 5 News at 6:30. You can see the wounded gunman now being taken by SWAT officers and sheriff's deputies on a backboard. He's going to be taken to a nearby ambulance. This was the end of a police pursuit where the gunman got out, pulled a gun, fired at the police, then took refuge on a porch nearby. He was shot in the abdomen. He has been bleeding for well over an hour, and now he has finally surrendered and is getting the medical treatment share that we thought that he would get minutes and minutes ago.
It has been an incredible, last hour and a half that we've been watching this. That the man is still alive is incredible, and that he was standing and like drinking water on the porch, and it was just one of those things that you've never seen before.
This could end kind of badly out here. He's gesturing very, this is not going to end very well. Shots fired.